So during the spring break, I visit UK as well. And I have a friend that got sent to Scotland from US. So he was talking about like how, there are a lot of differences, even though it's an English speaking country. It's not like when we are going to go to India or, somewhere it's totally different. So in theory, we thought, okay, UK, US, should be very similar, but actually it's not. Okay. So one thing that's very fundamental that sometimes we forgot about is you have to drive on the left side when you're in UK. So my friend is like, he went to pick me up. I was like, how do you drive, on the left side? He said, it's actually okay, it's not bad. The only confusing part is the roundabout. And in UK, obviously he said when he was taking the driving lessons, they don't let, like the passenger doesn't have, how do you call that, the right of the right away, yeah, the passenger. So unless there's a traffic light, it says red. If there's a I don't know how you call it, like the sign where we can cross. Crosswalk. Yeah. Even when you see that, the car has the right of way. So the passenger cannot just, cross the road. Yeah, but in US, when we see passenger far away, we will slow down, we will stop, right? In Pennsylvania, probably not in New Jersey, right? So, yeah, so yeah, I went to Philly with a friend. She grew up in New Jersey and she's driving like this. I said, whoa. And then she said, sorry, New Jersey drive. I said, no wonder whenever I went to New Jersey or New York, I can never like get into the line. I was like, nobody won't let me go. How am I going to go to that lane? Yeah. She said, you just need to just go. So she says, New Jersey driving. Yeah. So in Scotland or UK, it's like that. They don't let passengers, like when you see, you basically need to watch your way. And when there's no car, you go. But when the car is coming, the car wouldn't let you go. Yeah. Okay, the car just go. Yeah. So there are a lot of things that when you go to a different country, you have to learn to adapt. And in this chapter, we are going to talk about a little bit of how companies manage the employees from all over the world, and when they send them to different countries, how do they manage that? Okay, so basically, and I talked to my friends because I know we are going to cover this. So I said, oh, do you have some kind of training before you go? And the answer was yes. Like he had some kind of training, like about the, let's say, language, a little bit of the language, and then a little bit of the how, like the lifestyles there. Okay, so when we are talking about the global HR management, human resource management, there are several things that we have to decide. First of all, the HR strategy. How are we going to put people, like put different people in different positions? So it's somewhat connected to what we were talking about, the international strategy. Remember, we have the national, transnational strategy. We have the localization, and we have international, and we have the global standardization strategy. So based on different strategies, we will use different HR strategy as well. So for example, if we have a localization strategy, we want to respond to the local market, then we would very likely hire local people to be in that position so they understand the market better. But on the other hand, if we have a global standardization strategy, then we might just want to send people all over the world, okay, to make sure they follow the company's major strategy. Okay, so it'll be someone from the home base will be sent to different places. Okay, and then how do we evaluate the performance. Like I think we talk about like sometimes in different countries, you have to maybe bribe the local officials to get things moving. Okay, so how did you evaluate that kind of performance? Okay, or in some kind of places, you need to cut costs, or so there are different, maybe different type of, we have to use different type of standard. So that's something also we need to consider when we are in different location. We might need to use different measurement. Okay, and the compensation, of course, I think I kind of told you guys when I used to work in China, sent by the Taiwanese company, I get double pay and all the room and board are covered. I was given a driver, was given some kind of perks like what is it? Like the membership, gym membership and stuff. My friend got a golf club membership, and then the car, he got a car the car he was driving was BMW. So he got a BMW from the company, and the company paid for all the gas and food. Food was a little bit weird. Like I didn't understand what he said. So when I was working in China, all the food are covered as long as I keep the receipt. But we have a kitchen. We hire a cook to cook in the company as well. But sometimes if we need to visit our clients, like because in China it's not like here we can sometimes maybe fly to different places. In China we have to drive. Sometimes it's in the same province. It would take us 8 hours to visit a customer. So sometimes we have to stay there. But if we go somewhere closer, 1 or 2 hours, sometimes we need to eat out. And then, whatever, if we keep the receipt, it's covered. And so for my friend's case, he said they checked the living expenses, the exchange rate. He said when the British pound was more expensive, he get about $1,000 US dollar back in the food. But when the British pound, I don't know if you guys remember, there was like a week that US dollar is almost like British pound was like 1.1 to 1 US dollar. So it's depreciating a lot. So when that happened, he didn't get any money. But when I visited him, he said he got about $400. So, but the utility, he said the utility bill was covered. The utility in UK, he told me it's like $1,500 British pounds per month. It's crazy. And he has a relatively small house in American standard. It's a relatively small house. And then his wife, and we will talk about it later. So the biggest reason why the expat fail is usually the spouse. The spouse couldn't adapt to the new environment. And before I didn't understand why, because nowadays if you are sent to China, you can easily find a lot of online group where in different cities they have expat community, so they can get to know each other. But when I went to visit him, I realized, wow, he's in the middle of nowhere. Like it's in Scotland, it's in Stirling, it's a very small town, and because they will be there only for 2 years, and then it's everything is expensive in Europe. So his wife is like, oh no, let's not buy a car, just use the company card, the company gave you. And she literally walked to pick up her son, or walk to grocery store. And then they say, oh, it's actually, in Europe, it's kind of small. Everything is kind of close, but still, she need to walk 20 minutes. He said, oh, it's about 15 minutes. And she always say, oh, it's about 30 minutes for me to walk one way, to walk to pick up her son, their son. So she walked 30 minutes to, and then back. And then in the house they rent is furnished, it's 100% furnished, but they have this tiny, like our office fridge. They have this tiny fridge, like like this big, but two. So their fridge is like this big. And she's like, let me show you where the fridge is actually under the, like, where the cabinet was. So it's like here and here. She said, and she's like, the fridge is so small, look. And from being in US, we are used to like fill our fridge, and we might have second fridge or second freezer, right? I don't know if you guys have that. I have a freezer. So, and for some reason, if my fridge is close to empty, I would be anxious. So I have to fill out my fridge. And then she's saying, she's like, look how small the fridge is. And she's like, I hate this place. And she doesn't like UK. And to me, I was like, oh, this is nice. It's like people, and when we eat out, the restaurants are relatively cheap. Okay, like the fish and chip, like a huge fish and chip is only 12 British pound. So it's like $15. Okay. And it's in a nice restaurant, but it like, the price nowadays here is getting more and more expensive. So to me, I was like, oh, it's actually not bad to eat out. And on top of that, you don't tip in Europe. Okay. So we don't have to tip, but here we have to tip 20%, right? So that's a thing. But for this one, we will try to, think about how the expect should be compensated, like the example I shared with you. And usually they will cover once a year, the whole family's round trip ticket to go home, to visit home. And I think the company paid for business class for the whole family. Yeah, because his position is a little bit higher. But I know when Apple send their employee anywhere like over 7 hours, they get business class ticket. Apple employee, no matter what your position are. Okay. So there are some so if your company is going to send you to different countries, where do you think you want to go? You want to go to England? Really? You need to drive on the left side. And then when we were in UK, they really say, like, when they say bye, they really say cheers. And then my daughter said, oh, they said cheers. And she said, I think they really say cheers. So everybody just say, the waiter, the waitress, or whoever, they always say, I forgot, I couldn't imitate, but my daughter was excited. She's like, oh, they say this, and they say cheers. Yeah. What do they say? May, cheers. Yeah. So, yeah. So UK, anybody else? Any other country you want to go? If you have the opportunity to go overseas to work, get double pay, or not double pay, just the normal pay, but room and board is paid for. Where?
South Korea.
Oh, okay, good. South Korea. Anybody know where we can take Korean lesson? Not Duolingo.
Like actually speak.
Yeah. Like in college, I try to find. My daughter wants to take Korean, but
Like in my transfer from Kane, I think Kane University of Union, New Jersey.
Kane?
Kane, K-E-A-N.
Okay, K-E-A-N. Okay.
I think they might.
Okay.
Because they have like a campus in China. They have.
Okay.
Yeah, they are Swiss everywhere.
Okay. Yeah, I try to look for NAC or but I can't find. Yeah. Anybody else? No.
I mean, I would like to go to Japan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Japan is nice too. But Japanese are difficult to. What about foreign? For you guys might be okay. For me, Asian look might not be as easy because they would think I'm like from China or from Korea. They don't get along really well. Yeah, so we have our little rivalries among the Asian countries, but for Westerners, I think they like Westerners.
So if you were to go over there, like look at you like you about to take your job?
What?
Do they look at you like you have to take your jobs or
No, it's just they don't like outsider.
they don't like no outside, but they like Western outside?
Yes, they like Western, because they
It's
think
like-
Westerners are cute.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yes. So,
I heard that Taiwan is the best for Westerners in Asia, something like
can
that.
hear
because
you.
They're very
Wait.
accepting.
louder. Akil,
I heard Taiwan is very accepting of Westerners compared to other Asian countries.
Taiwan?
Taiwan, yeah. They're a lot
Oh, it's in
more
Taiwan.
friendly.
Yeah, I know. We like to talk, we like when my daughter went back to Taiwan, everybody wants to talk to her in English. We like to practice English. Yeah. And so she will be okay in Japan because her dad is American, so she has a mixed look. They love the mixed look. So, but I won't be okay. So, yeah. Anybody else? Japan, yeah, Japan is, I almost went to Japan. I was going to teach in Japan for 1 year, this year.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, but then their COVID become worse, so they closed down. So it didn't happen. Yeah, but Japan is nice too. Yeah. So, several things that we, like we mentioned, we wanted to be kind of, connected to the organizational structure or the international strategy that we talked about a few chapters ago, okay? And we want the HR policies or the strategies to match with the strategy. So, so one thing that we kind of talk about is, like, there are different ways for staffing. One is the ethnocentric. That means we put the key, position with the parent country nationals. So this will work for the global standardization strategy. And the polycentric, we put the local people in the local management position. So that's the localization. And then we have the geocentric approach, which is basically put people to all over the world. So this will be good for translational strategy. But as you can see, this will be more complicated because, imagine you are sending someone from UK to work in China, or you're sending someone from Taiwan to Japan. So you have to deal with a lot of visa, work permit, even language or the cultural, issue. But if you think they are best for the job, so there are different approach that will be fit for different strategy, okay? And they have different advantages. For example, if we use the ethnocentric, we send, let's say, Apple sent Americans to all over the world to management position. Then we might not have the qualified manager in the local market, or the local people, when they apply for jobs with Apple, they will feel, oh, no matter what I do, no matter how qualified, how good I am, they always send American to be our general manager or director. I can never be there. Okay, so it might what's the word? It might lower the morale for the local employees. Okay, and then the polycentric is sometimes it might be, the advantage is it's cheaper to implement because you're hiring local people. You don't have to, pay all the perks for the expatriate, those kind of stuff. But you will limit also the job mobility, like only the local people stay local. Okay, so you might not be able to learn from some advantages from different culture. Okay. And then also you might isolate your headquarters from your foreign subsidiary because you don't have people from the headquarters to other places. And then geocentric, it's very expensive, it's difficult to implement. Okay, and then they have different immigration policy. Like, I don't know if you guys heard of it. Once your passport has any Middle Eastern country stamp, you cannot use that to enter Israel. Vice versa. So yes, so if you need to travel to Israel and then to Saudi Arabia, you have to have two passports. One with Israeli stamp, visa stamp, one with the Saudi stamp.
You know what it is?
Because they hate each other.
We do a lot of business together.
That's what I heard. I've never been to, well, I've been to like UAE, I've been to some like Egypt, some Muslim countries, but I've never been to Israel. So I don't know, but I've heard that from some like managers I used to work with, like some are from Germany, some from Japan or from US. When they travel a lot, I didn't travel that much. They travel much more than me. So they were like, oh, it's crazy. I have to get two passports to, yeah. So they have literally two valid passports. Yeah, but that's, I think it's interesting to know, about this when we travel differently. Yeah, so it could be very time consuming or irritating to handle this kind of stuff. So that's the different staffing approach. And then for expatriate, like I say, if they need to return before their term ends, then that's considered a expatriate failure. Okay, so 76% of the U.S. expatriate failure, 76% of the U.S. expatriate, they have failure rate of 10%, and then 7% have failure rate of 20%. But the most reason is the spouse to adjust, and then I realized why, because she really doesn't have any friends. My friend's wife in Scotland, it's a small town, and she speaks like very minimal English. No, not to mention, to understand the Scottish accent, English. Yeah. So she doesn't have friends there, and she doesn't have cars, so she just stay home, and then the fridge is too small, nothing much to cook, So she complains. She complains a lot. Like they almost, because he said they need to stay there for 2 years, and she was like nagging him. They almost leave like in 1 year. So like I think in till May will be like 1 full year, and then she's trying to get him to move. Like they might be moving in July, but he said that's like very unlikely. So they will need to stay for 1 more year. And she's like, oh wow, I don't want to stay 1 more year. But the good thing with Scotland is it's very close to Europe, so they get to have like short trips to all the European countries over the weekend. So that's something, I think that's good. That's the goal. So yeah, so they have different issues. So that's some reason why the expatriate is has failed. And then it's good that we have the global mindset, that like the more you go to different countries, I think the more you'll be more adaptive, like you will know, oh, this is how it is. And my friend's wife say like she's I know, how could you drive on the left side? And then she's like, you should see him. Like he drive like this here, but when we go to Europe, to Germany, he can immediately switch to right side. Germany is on the right side, UK is on the left side.
They drive in the car, the steering wheel's on the right side or the left side? In
The,
the car.
the steering wheel is on the right side. Yeah. So, but he say it's not that bad, but
They probably get
they have a lot of roundabout. the roundabout is weird because we used to turn like this, right? So the roundabout, you actually have to turn this way, yeah. And so, yeah, so the roundabout is what scares me because I was sitting on the left side. And then you turn like this, and then the car keep coming in from my side. So it's just, it kind of, to me, it's kind of scary, yeah. So a lot of times, 90% of the employees, they are selected because they have the technical expertise, not because of the cultural sensitivity or the activity. My friend, he also got selected because of the technical, he's an engineer degree, but he is very, I know he's very adaptive, like he can make friends just like that, like he can literally talk to anybody. I remember he used to, how we became friends was, we both went to the same college, and he and his wife came to US together, and they like, when you are in US long enough, you know, when you, I don't know if you guys are like that, when your friends want to visit you, they will call you, right? They will say, hey, can I go like tomorrow or in 10 minutes or something? They will let you know. They don't, they just show up in front of, yeah, they just show up in front of my door. It's like Taiwanese style, like when I was in Taiwan, people just walk, like my great grandma's friend, they just walk and they just sit in our yard, like they just talk after dinner, and people just came without, how do you say, like invitation or notice, without notice, they just walk in, and they are always welcome. But I was in US for long, I don't feel comfortable anymore. But he does that anyway. He just hey, he just ring the bell, say, hey, I'm here. And I was like, okay. And I was a little bit offended, but then we're on, like, we became friends. So so everybody was complaining about him. Like we were saying, oh, he's so annoying. He just show up in our door, in front of our door. But we became friends. Like he still keep in touch with a lot of friends, you know? Yeah. So he definitely, I think he definitely have the and then I think I told you guys, his son has a girlfriend, has a Scottish girlfriend, and then he know where they live, the girlfriend live. So he would say, let's go, let me show you where her house is, her parents' house is. So we were driving to the community, and he said, their house. And I said, oh, the curtain is up, like you can see. I said, do you want to go drive by the house? He said, no, they will see us. So, but he knows everything, like he's very lonely. So yeah. So I mean, he's okay. I think he's doing well everywhere. Okay. And so, but if you are the kind of type, I think you will do well. Like the coach we watch, I think also the coach is like very optimistic and always have like very high spirit. So that kind of personality, I think, will be good to different culture. You know, yeah. So training, when we have this kind of training, a lot of times it'll be specific job, but because the company my friend worked for is Emerson. Emerson, I don't know if you guys heard. Huh?
Emirates, the airplane.
Emerson, no, Emerson. It's like engineer, electronic. Yeah. So they have the skill, and because everybody is like rotate every other years. So but you know, I think I think it's good. Like he immediately realized, oh, this is how this works, that this could be an issue, and then he tried to work with it, with, you know, different culture in different location. So you know, we have to think about what kind of training we might need for the expatriate manager. So the cultural training, you know, maybe a little bit of the language training. Like if you guys want to go to Korea or Japan, Are you learning Korean? Now listen, hey, are you learning Korean?
Learning. I do sit back and, because there's an app they have on my phone, so I do listen to it, I'm listening to that in Japanese, but it's too hard. Like Mandarin, I really wanna, I'm really gonna try to learn Mandarin. Really hard.
See, for Korean, Japanese to me is easy because there's some words very similar to
Yeah.
Chinese or even Taiwanese.
Yeah, there is some similarity, but then once they started going into like the real details, of like, it's not the same anymore, like,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
so if a language, just a little bit, it will help, yeah. So the repatriate of the expatriate to send the manager back to the country. So sometimes we might have the counter cultural shock. I think I told you guys, like when I went back to Taiwan, I remember my mom picked me up from airport and then she got off the highway. And then we're supposed to go straight. And then she stopped, she went to a left turn lane. So I see that sign to turn left. I was like, huh, no, wrong. She's like, what are you talking about? So when it's green, she still goes straight. And it's like, I don't know if you guys understand how weird I feel. Like, how could you go straight when you are on the left turn lane? You know, and she just like,
Oh, it's a turning lane, but she still went straight.
nobody followed the sign in Taiwan. Yeah, and then my sister is like that too. Like there's a red light. She's like, oh, no car. She just go. I was like, oh, she's like, are you serious? We are in Taiwan. We are in Hainan, and not the South Taiwan. We are the worst. Like nobody follows the rule. Like people, like when we started the rule to put on your helmet, okay, when you ride scooter or motorcycle, you need to put on helmet. People hate it so much because it's hot. So some people even prepare a watermelon skin. They just put it there, and when police nearby, they just put it on their head. You know, so it just yeah. So you know, imagine how. And then when I hear the sirens from ambulance in Taiwan when I was driving, I was like, oh, where is the ambulance? I need to like, you know, pull over. Nobody cares. Nobody moved to, you know, the ambulance has to find their way. Yeah. So nobody actually pull over. So it's something, you know, but I thought this is funny. I don't know if you guys would understand that, but let me share this with you guys.
What if you could do SEO
Is this
smarter
the one?
and faster? With Wix, you can edit your meta tags page by page or all in one go. Okay, if you're having difficulty.
What's going on? Been like a month already in my life. Good goddamn.
All right, let's do this, guys. Wait up. We'll do shed olives for meats. We'll do crab, oxtail lasagna. There's all your rice and tons and tons of watermelon. Keep it coming. Great, guys. We're good.
That's exactly what happened to me when I was dating an American guy. When we went to a Chinese restaurant, I just keep ordering food, order different food that I thought he would like, and then you know we can try together. But that's not how American works, right? You have to order your own dish and then just eat that one. But we will order variety of food and everybody share. So that's what he's doing.
Oh, sorry. Do you guys want popcorn juice?
Like your
Whatever it is. Bad. So it has some bad type.
tell me about that. So I'm telling the driver, like, we need to stop right now. Oh. Understand what I'm saying? Is that the open here in my car? Yeah, I was thinking. My car. Oh, God. Get the hand under my car. And then this is the boss.
So you are making a few social faux pas. Like right now. So can you think the way you're from?
Sorry.
So, damn it, see, I can't help it, it's just like the other day, how much is it? Enough. Come on, too expensive, give me a cheaper price, give me french fries.
Okay, that is pretty great. Have you tried Googling any of these things?
Yeah, I did a thing, I found out.
Oh my God, is there ice in this? Yeah.
Yeah, we're not supposed to drink anything cold during the period.
Sure.
Yes. Yeah, give you cramps.
I read about this other guy, he can't even afford a job. And here's a standard employee contract.
Great, so I'll be getting 60% more.
How do you think that? You know, not from here. Sure, understand. Well, just be honest, okay, can you get me a visa or not?
Perhaps we could form some sort of self-help group.
Oh, we try, but whenever we get together, things tend to.
They're not. And honestly, my town.
We do that too. Do you guys do that? That's why my daughter thought she could invite her friend to Korea on my expense. Because when I visit my friend in Taiwan, they always treat, and then when they come to US, I treat. So she thought, oh, when she invite her friend to Korea, we treat. So, but we do that, and sometimes we would like few friends, like if we couldn't win the fight, we would put all our credit card in the bill that the waiter or waitress pick, whatever credit card the waiter or waitress pick, who pay. Yeah, so you don't know who who get it.
I got it. This doesn't even cover the tip. Okay. Tip. Okay, great, right here.
So we don't pay tip. Nobody pays tip except for US.
Fine, right up here. Quite long. Very clear. Hey, boys, couple beers in the park. Oh, yeah, yeah, maybe old ones. Hey, drink in public. I remember how.
Yeah.
Cigarette whole party thing? Is that what we're doing? I got one.
Okay, you would meet. Yeah, this is higher up there for the work, and you know how my rate is really an hour.
Come on, do it, fancy.
Come on, friends, I'm bringing about today. Come on, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no.
Yeah, that's the Chinese way. So, yeah, it might happen if you come back from Japan, you might be doing this a lot, right? So what will motivate you to work in another country? In addition to the pay or the perks, or will you just, you're just curious?
Oh, okay, you just reason.
The pay?
The country you want to like work, like visit maybe, or like vacation to, like so you can really experience the culture.
Okay,
They,
I guess learning more about like.
okay. Anybody?
I would say like, if it's an interest, if I'm interested in that country, then yeah, that will.
So what country will you,
I would say France maybe.
okay, Emily in Paris? You guys watch it? Emily in Paris?
yeah, our girl was really was, I always watch that.
Anybody else?
Just go to the chat.
Oh. Thank you. Oh, money and good work, yeah. Okay, and I think, to me, I always want some job that company pay for my hotel and flight ticket. I can accumulate a lot of mileage and points, so I don't have to pay out of pocket. Now I have to pay out of pocket for everything, yeah. But, it'd be nice that the company can send you, everywhere. Like my brother, his company sent him to different places. So he's like the diamond member of some airline. So yeah, so he gets to upgrade to business class, sometimes for free. Yeah, so I like that. But compensation, when we talk about compensation, it depends on different countries, okay, and depends on living expenses. And also the economic conditions and stuff. So different companies might have different rules, okay? And also how you are going to be paid. Like if you are going to pay, let's say, I'm just making up some numbers because I don't remember the details, but I remember like if you are American, you got a job in Taiwan, and they pay you in Taiwan, they will automatically withhold 40% of the income as tax. So that's a lot, right? So a lot of times, like my brother, he will get paid in Taiwan. So in Taiwan, the income tax is much, much lower. And here, the income tax with, his pay grade is very high. He might be paying like higher bracket, tax bracket. So sometimes, they will ask you, where do you want to be paid? And it depends on if you're Americans, like when you work in Europe, how they are going to withhold your tax, or how much they're going to charge your tax. But we won't be double taxed, because if you pay tax here in Europe, when you file your American tax, you can also file whatever tax you pay. You can deduct from the what's the word? The tax you are supposed to pay in US. You can deduct whatever you already pay in Europe. Yeah, so, but it's just a lot extra work. So sometimes people try to avoid that. And then sometimes they have different compensation, but it all depends on how bad they want you to be in that country and how competitive you are. Like, are you the only person they can send to? So if you are, then you can definitely get a better compensation, right? And you can negotiate for you. And I forgot to mention, a lot of times, like most of the time, if they send you to different countries, your kids get to go to private school. The company will pay for the private school tuition. Yeah, my friend, where he is, the Scotland doesn't have private school there. So he didn't get to enjoy that. But Yeah, and he complained about the Scottish education system a lot. He said they teach something so easy. Like, yeah, so, but I don't think they need to pay for college in Scotland. So his son, the son with the girlfriend, when he is transferred to other country, the son might stay there with the girlfriend to go to college. Yeah. So, and it's free. So 80% of the company in the survey have global compensation strategy. So, a lot of companies, they already have that kind of policy going on. So, but you still need to ask when they send you to different places. So some compensation package, you have base salary like in US, and then foreign service premium depends on, different situation. And in some places, they will give you the hardship allowance or housing. A lot of the time, housing is included, even car, and then the education allowance is included. And some food maybe depends on, where it is. And then you benefit like health care. Oh, and then I heard in Scotland, the healthcare is also free. So, yeah, so it doesn't need to worry about it. But if let's say if I'm the expatriate sent from Taiwan to US, then the company will pay a lot in healthcare here, right? The insurance is like crazy. The premium, we have to pay is crazy. So compared to in Taiwan, we have the public, you call that public healthcare system. So I think we pay like $50 premium every month. 50, yeah. And about the copay, it's like $1 or $2. Yeah, including dental. So so that's why, like sometimes when some friends ask, they want to send their kids here, and they say, oh, we bought this insurance, is it good enough? I was like, no, like they say it cover up to $100. In Taiwan, it's a lot, that you really would need to pay out of pocket, like only the copay, $1, $2. So they thought $100 is a lot, to cover the expenses. They say, oh, is it good? Say, it might not even be enough to cover the emergency copay, right? So, yeah, so it's just, so that's something that, if you are going to send to different countries, that's something, you need to also, your company need to, teach you or provide enough information. And then the tax differentiation. So like we already mentioned, there might be different, you have to pay tax in different countries, and that's something you have to deal with. And then sometimes they have the tax treaty. And then, nothing to do on this. And gender and expat. So more female aspect or female? In theory, only 14% is female, because I think in a lot of places, and in a lot of countries, still they don't really respect female in workplace. And so, and it's a little bit more difficult to, send female to different places. Okay, I have a classmate. She's also an expatriate. She also went to so many different places. But so her husband will be staying home in Taiwan, taking care of kids. And I know last time I heard that their marriage is not, doing so well because she traveled a lot. Yeah. So I guess it goes both ways, but it feels like it happens more to a female expatriate. Yeah, so the female mobility can be discriminated, And sometimes they might not get support from the families or, friends. Yeah, so that's just a little bit difficult for females. But if you are a manager, will you send females, a woman especially to these countries? And how are they doing in those countries? Okay, so, let's see what it's like to. I've heard a friend of mine, she went to UAE to teach accounting, she's a professor, but she also says they don't, they don't respect female professors. So this one, I'll post the link. Oh, wait, I didn't know it's time. So the point is, if we have more diverse workforce, actually, a lot of research shows that it actually will be beneficial for the company, for employees that work there. Okay, so that's why we encourage the expatriate, and then we encourage a diversified workforce. So what are the and then don't forget, there is no there's no